My favorite 3x3 has a huge problem, and if you have this cube or you're thinking about getting it, you need to know about it. Hey guys, it's Brody. If you saw this unboxing video that I made a few months ago, you'd know that I absolutely love the Dayan Guhong V4 M. After lubing and tensioning it, its super smooth feel was absolutely addictive, and its performance was on par with, if not better than, the GAN 11M Pro. The idea that a cube that only costs 15 bucks would be this good is absolutely unbelievable, but in the weeks and months that have followed, it's clear that that low price has some drawbacks. About a month after I made that unboxing video, I was doing a 3x3 solving session when all of a sudden I couldn't get good times on the Guhong V4 anymore. I had no idea what was going on, and I just kept solving hoping that the problem would go away on its own. But it never did. I literally could not control the cube, and it was making me get really bad times. So I tightened the cube, tried solving again, and then there was no improvement. I repeated this many times, and still the cube felt uncontrollable, and that led me to get lots of lockups and even pops, which had never happened before. Eventually, when I decided to take apart the cube and clean it out, I discovered what the real problem was. Take a look at this. This little cylinder is supposed to be attached to the cube inside of the centerpiece. When it is there, that's what stops the centerpiece when you pull on it, because the head of the screw will hit the top of it. And when you tighten that screw, the head goes lower and lower, meaning you can pull less and less distance before you hit the cylinder, which is what makes the cube less flexible when it's tighter. However, since that piece broke off, there's nothing stopping me from pulling this centerpiece until the head of the screw hits the very top of the center. What this means is that tensioning has basically no effect on this side anymore, because no matter how tight I make it, I have to pull a long way before I hit the bottom. Take a look at this. In this cube, I have a fully functioning, non-broken red center, and the red center in this cube is broken. They're at about approximately the same tension. This is how far I can pull the red side on this cube, and this is how far I can pull the red side on this cube. No wonder this cube was popping. I can basically just pull a piece out right away like this. As soon as I realized what the problem was, I made a community post about it, saying how because my main had broken, I couldn't do any regular 3x3 practice. I was expecting the regular mix of Fs in the chat and other sympathy comments, but what ended up happening was actually a lot more interesting. Turns out, that exact same problem had been happening to a lot of people. So either all of us happened to break our own cubes in the exact same place, or there's something wrong with the design of the cube that makes it more fragile and likely to break in that one way. I'm going to lean towards that second option. But there's one other comment on that post that I'd like to point out. There was a person who said, and I quote, "You are sponsored. Should you care about this?" Despite how blunt this comment is, and the implications it makes about my ability to empathize with people who aren't sponsored, they do make a good point. I am sponsored. All I have to do to fix this is contact the cubicle and ask them to send me a replacement piece. And that's exactly what I did. In fact, because this is a known issue, the cubicle sent me a whole extra Guhong V4 to use as spare parts in case more pieces break in the future. And it's a good thing they sent me a whole cube, because literally a few days ago while I was recording solves, this happened on the white side. And this time it was even worse. The entire bottom of the centerpiece had broken off. Luckily, I did have that whole cube of spare parts, but what wasn't so lucky is what I saw when I was swapping out the centerpiece. Every single other centerpiece was somewhere in the process of wearing down in that exact same spot. This is a design flaw if I've ever seen one. At this rate, I'm going to need to buy multiple Guhong V4s just to make sure I have enough extra centerpieces. But let's go back to the sponsor comment. As far as I could tell from browsing the Cubicle's website, they don't sell spare parts anymore. That means if your cube breaks like mine, you'd have to email them about it in order to either get a replacement piece, a replacement puzzle, or a refund. Not only do I have the advantage of faster contact with the cubicle than most other people, I also have an advantage when it comes to time. According to the returns policy I was just talking about, any defective product complaints must be made within 4 weeks of when the puzzle was delivered. Otherwise, they can't be sure whether the problem was a defective cube or misuse, so they reject the claim. In my case, the first center broke more than 4 weeks after I got the puzzle, so my claim would have been rejected if I wasn't sponsored. The sad truth is that the way that this problem was solved for me just isn't available for everyone. If this problem happens to you and it's outside that 4-week window, you're going to have to spend money in some form in order to fix it. Let's say that you did find a way to buy the replacement piece you need from the cubicle, or some other store that does sell replacement parts. You'd still likely have to pay for shipping, and even then, if any other pieces break, you're back where you started. And even if you do get a replacement piece in the 4-week window from the cubicle, who knows if they'll be as willing to help you out the second time around if any more pieces break. The other option is to buy an entire second cube, which does cover you unless the same piece breaks twice, but it does cost more money. Yes, it is only $15, but to some people $15 is a lot of money. There are a lot of people out there who need to be really careful about how they spend any money they have, and spending $15 on replacement cube parts probably isn't a high priority for them. And what about the people who had to save up to get the $15 for this cube? Or the people who could only get it because of a sale or because of gift cards? What happens to them if their cube breaks outside of that 4-week window? So that commenter is right. I do have it easier and better because I'm sponsored. But that doesn't mean I don't care about the issues people who aren't sponsored face. I know it sounds like I'm being really critical of the cubicle here, but in all honesty, this shouldn't be their problem. The real fault here falls on Dayan for releasing a cube that has this blatant of an issue. But until Dayan comes out with some sort of fix, the responsibility to help cubers who bought the cube only to have it break falls on the stores. In my opinion, the best solution, if they weren't doing this already, is to be more lenient with their returns policy regarding the Guhong V4. Even if it's outside that 4-week window, or even if you've already needed replacement parts in the past, I think they should give you the benefit of the doubt and say it was a defective product problem and not misuse. This is a known problem, and even if it happens more than 4 weeks after delivery, it's highly likely that it's not the user's fault. They should also be more lenient when it comes to people having multiple defects and needing multiple replacement parts. I have no clue how they deal with this already, but they should just be able to give you more than one either ahead of time or as pieces break. And if you are one of the people who would have trouble, financial or otherwise, with getting replacement pieces for the Guhong V4, I would refrain from getting it. Don't get me wrong, I still absolutely love this cube, but this cube isn't going to be doing you any good if it's just sitting somewhere broken. It's only good if you have access to the replacement parts that right now you're going to inevitably need. I can't tell you what to do with your own money, but I would recommend that you be careful. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. I'll see you guys later, and I hope you have a great day. This is Brody, signing out.